If you want to be a part of the world's greatest competitive TCG circuit, if you want to travel with your friends and sling cardboard all around the globe, and join the most welcoming community in gaming, then look no further than the Flesh and Blood World Tour. What's up, everybody? My name is Sam O'Byrne from Legend Story Studios, and today we're going to break down exactly what the World Tour is and how you can get involved. So at its core, the World Tour really represents like these two pillars of experience. On the one hand, you have this deeply robust, highly supported tournament circuit that is the best in all of TCGs. We have events all over the world for all different types of players, from the first-time players to the seasoned pros. There's a $1.5 million prize pool being given out over regional tournaments, national championships, pro tours, and of course, the World Championship. On the other hand, the World Tour is a congregation of communities. It's this opportunity for players to travel to all of these incredible events all over the world at these marquee destinations and come together in the flesh and blood through the common language of playing great games. There's literally nothing better than traveling to these events either with your friends or making new friends in the event hall as everybody is just jamming games and enjoying not only the actual event itself, but the beautiful city, the wonderful location that these events are in, and getting the opportunity to have adventures. And that's what makes it so great. These events are happening all the time, all over the world. Okay, so what is the organized play system? Let's break it down. Flesh and Blood OP operates on a tier system, beginning at Tier 1, at your LGS, baby, the Armory, where you can test your strategy, build your decks, and begin your competitive journey. Next, we go up to Tier 2, where you've got your battle-hardened events and some other qualifying events for some of the bigger tournaments down the line. So let's talk about Battle Hardens. Battle Hardens are open entry tournaments, and many players first step into the larger Flesh and Blood tournaments. These are like 100 to 200 players, one whole day of intense Flesh and Blood action. At the end of a Battle Hardened, we crown a champion who will walk away with a special gold foil promo card and a professional tournament invitation, which we'll talk about later. Battle Hardens are a great way to test your skill against a variety of opponents, a variety of strategies, and really continue to hone your skills as you look further on towards our Tier 3 events. In Tier 3, we have our next step up of our open entry tournaments called The Calling, where we call players from all over the world to compete for the lion's share of $10,000 or $20,000, as well as gold foils, PTIs, all that good stuff. Callings are your first taste of competitive multi-day events, where only the best performing players make it to the all-important Day 2. In Day 2, there's a couple more rounds of competition before we cut to top 8 and we crown a Calling champion. I'll never forget playing in my first Calling. There's something so special about sitting in a room with hundreds of other players, just absolutely both partaking in like fierce Flesh and Blood competition, but also at the same time having friendly banter, just going back and forth. And honestly, I left every round of my first Calling feeling like I made a friend after the round was over, even if I had, done a little bit of butt kicking. There's a great diverse range of players, everyone from your local Armory competitor and your local Armory champion to even players flying in from other countries, Pro Tour champions, world champions. It's truly an event for all types of players, and it can be your first Cinderella run into some true glory. Callings are great. They're both very, very prestigious, and the players that top 8 a Calling or win a Calling are entered into a very small list of our game's greatest players, but they're also just vibes, man. They're so much fun.
Can I put this in my hand?
You have players that play their pet deck or a dark horse strategy, or really just come there to play some great games and not even think about making that Day 2 or making that top 8. It really is such a diverse range of experiences, and I can't recommend a Calling enough. And remember, Callings are open entry. You can just show up, buy a ticket, and make your way in. All right, buckle up. We are getting into the big leagues now. Invitation-only tournaments. These are tournaments that you have to win a special earlier tournament to even qualify for your chance to compete. You remember those tournaments from Tier 2, the qualifier tournaments? This is where these start to come into play. So we're gonna start off with national championships. These are happening in over 50 countries all over the world, and to compete for the honor of becoming your country's national champion, you have to get top 4 at your regional Road to Nationals. Come on, you see, like, cause there's a Road to Nationals, and if you do well enough on the Road to Nationals, you get to Nationals. It's just like it's a 1, 2, 3. It's like a bing and a boom. It's like A, B, C. And these Road to National events happen at your local game store. There's something special about fighting to become your country's national champion. I mean, when have you ever had the opportunity to become a national champion in anything? National championships are a celebration of all the flesh and blood players in your country. They also are accompanied by these national festivals, great side events for any player to come in, join the fun, throw down with some great games, and compete for prizes and prize tickets and promos. All the while, players are competing for the title of national champion. And not only is the national champion getting the fame and glory of that prestigious honor, they also automatically are entered and qualified for the World Championships to represent their country in the World Tour's biggest and best event of the year. So we've made it through all the other tiers. Only one remains, the all-important Tier 4 events, Pro Tour and World Championships. That's it. That's all that's in this tier, because these events are the best, the brightest, the most competitive, the most exciting, the North Star for any flesh and blood player. To play on the Pro Tour is of the highest honors in our game. All right, there's levels to this. A 3-day event where you can truly fight to cement your place in TCG history, as Pro Tour champions are few and far between, and they are among our game's greatest greats, our brightest stars. To be a Pro Tour champion, damn near everything in a TCG, and our Pro Tours are the highest level of competition, bringing in players from all over the globe to compete for that all-important title. The prize support is just insane, $175,000 prize pool, and of course, exclusive Pro Tour promos and gold foil cards and PTI, so you can keep yourself on the Pro Tour. It's not to be missed. It's what all competitive flesh and blood players are aspiring towards. To get into the Pro Tour, you have to redeem a professional tournament invitation, or what's called a PTI, and you can get these at Callings, at Battle Hardens, or at ProQuests, which are just like RTNs, local tournaments at your LGS that are run in the season leading up to a Pro Tour. ProQuest, Pro Tour. We try to make it easy for you guys.
It's important to note that PTIs can be used to enter any professional level tournament, including Pro Tours and the World Championship, and do not expire. However, invitations from ProQuest events are only valid for the associated Pro Tour event they feed.
If you take down your local ProQuest, you have earned your place on the Pro Tour, and you must fight to defend it, because only a certain amount of players at the Pro Tour then earn another PTI and continue the train of being on the Pro Tour. It's like a tour. You tour the world playing Flesh and Blood. It's sick. Only one event remains, and it is perhaps the single most impressive achievement in our great game, the World Championships. The World Championships are the embodiment of the World Tour, a year-long journey to this event where players come in and they compete to try to become a world champion. At the World Championships, there's also a calling, there's also a battle hardened, there's side events all weekend long. It truly is 3 days of the apex of the Flesh and Blood experience. The journey to the World Championship is different for every player. Maybe you competed in your road to nationals, made it all the way to the national championships, and made it far enough in that event. Maybe you won a ProQuest, then made it onto the Pro Tour, and then got far enough in that vaunted tournament to earn your spot in the World Championships. There are even some World Championship qualifier events being run at World Tour weekends that feature callings and battle hardens as well. So there's lots of paths on to the World Championships, but only one that ends in victory. I mean, what more can I say? It's the World Championships. It's the biggest event of the year, the most prestige, the most honor, the highest vibes. You gotta make it out if you can. So that wraps up all of the competitive events on the World Tour circuit, but there's so much to do on these World Tour weekends. There's side events where you can play in small mini tournaments with your friends, against your friends, earning prize tickets to get special cards, special merchandise. There are cosplay contests where you can watch some incredibly talented members of our community dress up with their own creations, embodying characters from Flesh and Blood's lore. And of course, there's also all of what the great and wonderful cities that these World Tour events have come to have on offer. So, I mean, I know for me, my first couple times on the World Tour, I was just floored by what it felt like to actually travel for the first time. If it wasn't for Flesh and Blood, I would have traveled way less than I have traveled now. It has been such a gift for me, and I hope you all will come and join us on the World Tour to make some new memories and create some of these new experiences with some of your very best friends in gaming in Flesh and Blood. So whatever type of player you are, however you enjoy Flesh and Blood, there is something on the World Tour for you, and I hope to see you at the next event. And if you can't make it in person to some of these bigger events, we're also streaming all of our callings, our Pro Tours, the World Championships on the Flesh and Blood YouTube channel, so you don't miss any of the action. And if you do make it to one of these events, you might even find yourself playing on stream, texting your friends like, dude, I'm on stream, come see if I can win my game. And maybe, and then you can actually like show your parents like what it is you do on the weekends when you travel all across the world. You're like, no, Mom, look, I beat him, I did it. Pretty fun.
Nice. My mom doesn't believe me, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thanks for watching. Go play some Flesh and Blood. We love you.